What is up, guys? It's your boy, Witch Cactus, and today we are going to be showcasing an absolutely insane exotic combo featuring two brand new exotics just added into Destiny 2 within Season of the Witch. And guys, I have not seen an exotic combo this strong since the Osteostriga plus the Necrotic Grips. And in case you don't understand that reference, the Osteostriga is an exotic SMG added with Witch Queen, where if you get a kill, as you can see, a poison burst emits from it and it will damage nearby enemies. And then the Necrotic Grips is a Warlock exotic that makes your melee hits inflict poison, but also makes enemies affected by poison explode and spread that poison effect over and over and over again. But this actually works with weapons of sorrow like the Osteostriga, so as you can see, you get one kill and enemies just keep chaining and chaining and chaining, and it takes a weapon that is good on its own and elevates it to the next level. Well, that is happening again. This time, it's featuring the brand new Diris grenade launcher. Now, this is the Seasons Pass exotic, so both paid and free players can gain access to this thing. And here's what it does. First of all, intrinsically, it has corrupted nucleosynthesis, which says this weapon enrages when dealing or taking sustained damage, gaining increased rate of fire while enraged. Now, it has two unique traits here. First of all, you have Nucleosynthetic Magazine. This magazine continuously draws ammo from reserves. The magazine also enables firing arc projectiles that detonate on impact. And then it has Loyal Moths. Final blows with this weapon create a loyal moth. The moth will seek out nearby targets and detonate, damaging and blinding them. So, on its own, this grenade launcher I think is actually pretty darn cool. Essentially, you have a 30-round magazine. You will never need to reload this thing. It's essentially a hive boomer in the form of an exotic weapon, and it can do some pretty awesome stuff. But what we're focusing on specifically is the Loyal Moths trait, because here's how it works at a base level. When you get that kill, as you can see, it spawns a loyal moth, it seeks out enemies, it blows up for actually a pretty decent amount of damage. Now, this is followed up by a small cooldown. You're not going to get a moth for every single enemy you kill, but still, it's quite effective. Now, what we're actually doing here is pairing it with the brand new Hunter exotic gauntlets, the Mothkeeper's Wraps. Now, arms have not been in the rotation for solo lost sectors yet, but I was lucky enough to get this out of the chest from the special Neomuna public event that rewards exotics, and what this does is the following. It has Winged Eclipse. Your grenade becomes a cage of loyal moths that release on impact and fly towards the nearest target or ally. If they reach a target, they detonate in a blinding explosion. If they reach an ally, the moths grant your ally a void overshield. So, again, this completely replaces whatever your grenade is. And importantly, as you can see, like I have a normal pulse grenade, I put these on, and now I have two grenades. That's right, at a base level, you will get two moth grenades. And there's three different effects that can happen when you throw a moth grenade. First of all, when you're just solo, there's no enemies around, it's only allies, you will spawn two of the void moths that, as you can see, will simply fly to you and give you an overshield. When there's a bunch of enemies nearby and you're full health, it will spawn two of the arc offensive moths that will go after enemies. And then sometimes, often like when you're hurt and there's enemies nearby, it will spawn one of each. So one void moth, one arc moth. Now, another cool interaction, guys, is that if you use it on your Strand subclass and use the Widow's Silk aspect, as you can see, you now have an additional grenade charge. Well, since at a base level it gives you two, that means, as you can see, you can get 3 moth grenades, which is actually pretty nuts. So that's what the two exotics do on their own. Here's how they work together. As we went over, the exotic grenade launcher can spawn those moths. Well, it actually synergizes with the moth effects from your gauntlets. So as you can see, if you're using them both at the same time, every single time you get a kill with the grenade launcher, you now get 2 moths, and it seems to always be 1 Arc Moth and 1 Void Moth. So, instead of only spawning the offensive mod, you are now getting 100% pure upside. You are now getting a healing Void Moth every single time you trigger the effect of this exotic. So, I bet you guys never expected to have access to a Moth build in Destiny 2, but here we are. And how effective is it? Well, certainly for the weapon itself, it boosts it through the moon. Again, the fact that you are now just taking its base effect and adding the fact that you get an overshield every single time you trigger it is amazing. It is great for survivability, and specifically with this weapon, there is some self-injury if you shoot an enemy too close, so getting that instant heal from the Void Moth is very, very nice. And also, guys, this is 100% something you should run when you're going after the exotic catalyst. There's a huge and long catalyst exotic quest that Banshee 44 gives out for the seasonal exotic, so you have to get a ton of kills with it, you have to do a bunch of different activities. Well, now if you apply this massive boost to the power by using these Warlock exotics while you're doing that, it's just going to make using this weapon that you're going to be using anyways so much better. But overall, like in a vacuum, how good is the kind of Moth combo anyways? Well, I actually really didn't mind it. And I'm only scratching the surface of what you can do. Remember, I'm using Strand to abuse the triple Moth grenades, but there's actually a lot of synergies within Arc and Void builds as well. You can go the Arc direction, right? The grenade launcher itself is doing Arc damage. You're doing a lot of Arc damage with the Moth grenades as well, so there's a ton of synergies there, but also you're getting a ton of blinding effects, which is an Arc keyword. You can use something like Spark of Brilliance as a fragment, where defeating a blinded target with precision damage creates a blinding explosion. Like, you can go off and chain blinding stuff over and over again. You could even go the Void direction. You're spawning a ton of the Void Moths. You can use something like the Echo of Persistence fragment that will extend the duration of the overshields, and again, you're getting a lot of them, so that could be useful as well. But remember, guys, the Mothkeeper gauntlets just replace your grenade. Like, they don't require a certain element of build to work. They'll work regardless, and blinding will stun unstoppable champions. So these may end up being a very useful tool that you can throw on to whatever subclass you're using just to basically gain unstoppable grenades with that blinding effect, right? So that could also be very, very good. And you get 2 of them as well. And so, guys, that's it for the video. A look at this new, very cool exotic combo. 100% worth trying out. See if you like it. Guys, if you enjoyed the video and found it informative, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.